Well, here's a way to make some cash. Facebook is offering payment for outsiders who spot security flaws in its internal security systems. WSJ CIO Journal editor Michael Hickens joins us this morning. Thank you very much for being there, Michael.
Morning, Simon.
If you are a hacker, this has to be a dream. Basically, go find a flaw, get paid.
Well, I mean, it's actually a pretty tried and true methodology for getting people who are actually good at getting into your systems to tell you about how they're doing it, and while mitigating the problem.
How much money could people be making when doing this?
Well, it ranges based on the kind of flaw that you find. I mean, some of the payments are very small, like in the $500 to $600 range, and some of them are in the thousands of dollars.
So the total for this, in 2013, Facebook says it paid $1.5 million to 330, quote, researchers across the globe. In the past, these so-called researchers would probably have gotten into trouble, wouldn't they? They'd have been like, oh, you've been hacking us, let's call the police.
That's exactly right. And in other cases, what they do is that they would do some kind of ransom or blackmail. They would call up and they would say, well, I've spotted this bug, and I can tell you, I can give you some indications to prove to you that I really do know how to do this, but I won't really tell you everything until you pay me.
It used to be, Michael, it used to be going back many, many years when hackers used to steal money from banks. They would give it all back, less 10%, and the 10% would be a, quote, consulting fee. And part of this is that people who got hacked were so embarrassed that it happened to them. You remember that? That goes back a way, doesn't it?
Does. Well, I mean, these are the same people who used to have fun with payphones using audio signals to fool the digital machines into thinking that they were actually dropping money, and then making it called phone freaking, if you remember. But this whole premise is that there's this whole community of people who are interested and invested in the internet and are willing to do whatever it takes to safeguard it and, if possible, make some money about it as well. And that's one of the underlying principles for the whole open source movement. But the problem we saw with the recent Heartbleed bug is that doesn't always work because people aren't incentivized really to focus on that issue. And so there's a little bit of discussion about whether this should be professionalized a little bit more.
And Mike, cyber chief over at Facebook, said this has actually been very valuable because it's helped them patch up things.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of companies that are doing this. AT&T, Etsy, Google, Microsoft. I mean, if you Google bug bounty, you'll get a site that tells you all of the companies, and there are dozens and dozens and dozens of companies that are offering monetary rewards for these bug bounties. So there is some effectiveness to it, but the question is whether systematically that can be a solution long term.
Interesting stuff, how the world has changed. Thank you very much, Mr. Hickens of the Wall Street Journal.